Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Umstead. For those that don't know me, I am the host of the RNG radio show, as well as owner of the Nathaniel group. If this is your first time checking in, the show goes over real estate, resume writing tips, some real estate tips, and some motivation to get you through the day. I actually have two great guests actually on the show today. Their links will be separate in the links below, but the first one is Celeste Bennett. I should say Celeste and Juan Bennett is a husband and wife team, but I was able to speak to Mrs. Bennett yesterday in regards to Dip Shack, in which she makes homemade dips. So wonderful, wonderful woman. And if you'd like to know more about it, you can go to dipshack.net. And then also Bernadette McMillian, who owns her own catering company, Fantastic Food Caterer. You can check her website out at fantasticfoodcaterer.com. But without further ado, let's get on with the show. So on today's show, we're going to talk about a few things here. The first being secured credit card. Now, I have been promoting this secured credit card through the credit repair company to assist folks in building up the credit, but a lot of people probably just don't know what a secured credit card is. I'm also going to talk about real estate tips for a first-time home seller. And then instead of doing some resume writing tips, we're actually going to go over some sample thank you letters and why you should write them after an interview, and then some motivation to get you through the day. So without further ado, let's get started. So for those that don't know, I do handle credit repair, and if you need assistance with credit repair, you can give me a call, 267-702-3756. I'd love to assist you and help you out. But let's start off. So we offer, the company that I work with, we offer a secured credit card that's available to you. The APR right now is 11.99%, but definitely check out the website, or feel free to reach me to get the current rate. But as it stands right now, or I should say as of yesterday, it was 11.99%. But a secured credit card. Now, what is a secured credit card? And then, damn, if there's a secured credit card, is there also such thing as an unsecured credit card? Yes, there is. So starting off, I actually want to get the unsecured credit card out of the way because it's just straightforward. So if you've ever had a gift card balance and it says like, hey, if you'd like to add money back onto this gift card, you can do that. So some people might do that because they don't like to keep cash around them, so they'll put it back on that card and then use it like a regular card, until the balance gets down to zero. That is typically the same thing with the unsecured credit card, except the difference is that it goes directly to reporting to the 3 credit bureaus as far as how you're keeping track of your activity. It's still your money, but now it's like, hey, this person is managing their own money, and this is what they're doing. So that's an unsecured credit card, plain and simple. As for a secured credit card, a little bit different. So if you have poor credit or none at all, it can be tough to get a loan or a line of credit. Oh, and I always get the source of the articles. My apologies. So what is a secured credit card? This is actually coming from discover.com themselves. So building a record of on-time payments is an important factor that impacts your credit worthiness. So how a secured credit card works, like any other credit card, you first have to apply and get approved. Secured credit card applications are similar to other credit card applications, but they require your basic financial information as well as a permission to perform a credit check. They also require your bank account and routing number in order to submit a refundable, keyword refundable, security deposit. And then once you've been approved and put down your deposit, secured credit card functions much like its unsecured counterpart. You receive a statement each month, and you should try to pay your balance in full each month by the due date to avoid interest charges on new purchases. So how do the secured credit cards differ from prepaid credit cards and debit cards? Secured credit cards require account holders to provide funds before any purchases can be made, but that is essentially where the similarities end. With prepaid and debit cards, the amount of each purchase is immediately subtracted from the balance of the account. But with the secured credit card, the money you put up, refundable security deposit, is unaffected when you make a purchase and is now used to pay the account off. So my apologies, folks. With the secured credit card, I thought they were pretty much one and the same. So let's actually look up here because I don't want to leave you with false information here. So this is why we do this live. And so with an unsecured credit card, it's a credit card that doesn't require security deposit to be approved for the credit card or to get your credit limit increased once approved. Could be used the term credit card, what they're referring to is an unsecured credit card. So means that debt is not secured by collateral. A deposit that can't be applied by the lender. This is really, really weird. Huh. I swear, folks, they throw curveballs at you. So again, discover.com. You may have heard the term. I'm just reading this verbatim, folks, because this is the point of Facebook Live, because you come across live information. You may have heard the term unsecured credit card and be wondering what it means. Most of the time when people apply for a new credit card, they're getting an unsecured credit card. Unsecured credit cards are the most common type of credit card. Okay, so vice versa, folks. So with the secured credit card, you're honestly putting the money into it. With an unsecured credit card, meaning that the debt is not secured by collateral, a deposit that can be applied by the lender to the card balance in the event the cardholder defaults on the credit card account. So, folks, look into these things. This is why it's important to research. This is why it's important for me to research before I get on Facebook Live. So, know the difference. Definitely do the research, and I will actually do a follow-up on tomorrow's call because I definitely don't want to leave you guys stranded. So, moving forward, real estate tips for a first-time home seller. Tips for a first-time home seller. So, I know that I've already talked about this, but ain't nothing like good old information. Just repeat it again. So the first thing is pricing your home accurately. You don't want to create the wrong impression by pricing your house high and then reducing it. So a lot of folks will say like, oh, no, let's start at 300, even though it's in a neighborhood of maybe like 180 or $200,000 home. So folks, give a reason why it should be at that high figure. And, it's always good to definitely start high, but don't start crazy high to the point where you're losing value in the home. Because most folks, especially if they're studying the market, because even for your first time home sellers, this is your first time in the market, you will get eaten alive if you do not take this advice. And I say that because most folks are going to be looking around and be like, I'm just going to wait for that price to drop. And once it drops, then I'll get right on it. So, home stage and boost selling power and appeal. So make sure that you can and able to hire an interior decorator to actually come in and stage their home. If you cannot afford one, Dollar Tree. Honestly, Dollar Tree. You can just buy the plates, buy the placements, have the decor set up. You could probably get away with doing a whole lot for $30. Going to the Dollar Tree and then decorating the house as normal. The best day to list your home. So choose the best day to list your home. Well, then there's 7 days out of the week, which will be the best day to list your home. This time period will vary depending upon your local community, the weather, and the time of the year, among with a host of other factors, including the state of your present real estate market. So folks, just do your research. For the folks that are listening that might be out in Houston, Texas, your days might be Tuesday. Meanwhile, out here in Philadelphia, PA, the best days to list it might be Thursday. So always check to see like, hey, when is the best time to list your home? And it could be changing by next week. Next week you could say, hey, actually on Mondays are the best days to list your home for Philadelphia. And on Wednesdays, it's the best day to list your home for Houston, Texas, and areas like that. Ask about your agent's standard real estate commission. You should be asking automatically, folks, because as a first-time home seller, especially if you're utilizing an agent, you need to see how much of that money is going to that agent at the end of the day. Be flexible with home showings. Now, because of the state that we're in currently right now, your home showing should actually be staggered and separate apart where, they're pretty much throughout the day. So a flexible showing in this case is that what I would recommend doing is that you do have open houses that you're pretty much setting by appointments only. And that's just to allow time for folks to, pretty much the seller and or agent to come in and wipe down pretty much after people have gone through or even just spraying for disinfectant. So, and it makes for a lovely home, I love it. I actually feel like I'm VIP treatment even when I go to the grocery store and they're like, oh, hold on one second, let me wipe that down for you. Sure. Not a problem. I had no issues at all. So you want that same feel, and you want your guests to, when they do come in your home, to be treated like royalty. As far as checking out the place. So make sure that not so much with you're flexible with the home showings, but make sure that you're flexible in regards to showing the home and allowing time for people to come in and out of there. Insist on professional photography. I would insist on making sure that you have a smartphone. These things come in handy so much. If you check out my earlier videos, even my Zoom interviews that I've had with folks who were on the show, I was typically using this. So review your listing online. Definitely the moment that it becomes active, make sure that what you put in there definitely shows up online. And then respond promptly to a purchase offer. Yeah, folks that are looking for the offers, hey, they're putting out an offer, but you definitely want to inquire, like, what is this offer about? Even if it's something as simple as making sure that the agent responds to them within 24 hours, or I should say within the hour, to ensure that, hey, we hear you, we're checking it out, and we'll definitely get back to you. No buyer is going to be like, hey, I just gave you $500,000 offer on a $300,000 home. Take it or leave it. And it's like, whoa, let me check to see what's going on. Now, if somebody's offering you like almost double, you might want to definitely look into it ASAP to see why. And then last but not least, line up movers early. It's crazy to think that it's like, oh man, I'm selling this house, everything's going good, but you might be looking around like, wow, wait, I actually got a lot of junk in here. There is a lot of things in here. So make sure that when you are getting that process ready, that you just have your movers ready. And it's just a matter of researching and seeing who will be available. I know the U-Haul offers folks who, that offers those additional movers for an additional cost. So if it's something that you just want to go with that, that's all well and good. But still look at the pricing when it comes to that, and try to work out a deal in regards to the price selling of your home, so that way you're not like, well, the reason why I have it at this price is so that way this amount is paying for the movers, even if it's an additional $500, $600 on the price of your home. Know that a certain cost from you selling the home goes back into your pocket to cover those moving expenses. So, all right. And sample thank you letters. So before we get into the thank you letters, I do want to actually point out the two guests that I spoke with yesterday, and I briefly went over it. So starting with Bernadette McMillian. Bernadette McMillian owns the catering company Fantastic Food Caterer. She has been doing this for approximately 6 to 7 years now, owning her own business. She is based out in Trenton, New Jersey, but does serve all of New Jersey, as well as parts of Pennsylvania and even parts of Delaware. So if you are interested in looking for a personal chef / personal caterer, you're more than welcome to reach out. And she definitely has affordable pricing. Even though she has worked for the stars and cooked for the stars, at the end of the day, she still works with individuals such as you and me, checking us out today to get the services that you need for a personal chef. And actually probably would be the best time to check a personal chef because of the fact that she actually gets all the food for you. She gets all the spices and ingredients for you. The only thing that you need to do is tell her like, hey, I need this, this, and this. And that's it. The other information, or I should say my other guest, I should say, is Celeste Bennett, who has a homestead farm. So that honestly means that all of her ingredients come from her home, strictly from her home, and she pretty much does her own farming, which is amazing. So the ingredients that you get from Dip Shack literally come from the earth itself. So definitely highly recommend checking her out. You can check her out on Facebook as well, just by searching Dip Shack. All right. Now, moving on with the show, talking about sample thank you letters. So with a thank you letter, after your interview, and this is whether it be a phone interview, this is whether it be a face-to-face interview, Skype interview, what have you, you do want to get a thank you letter out, and it's something as simple as either sending it out via email or sending it out via snail mail. So what the importance is of a thank you letter is pretty much ultimately thanking the interviewer for their time. You know, they didn't have to choose your resume. They didn't have to choose you as a candidate or a potential candidate to come in and speak with you about the role. And even if they were desperate, for the fact that they're taking the time out of their day to talk to you, outside of just thanking them during the interview, you also might want to send out something formal that says, you know, thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. So we're actually going to read one, because instead of me going over as far as what should be in the body, no, I'm just going to read one straight one. So at the top now, the formatting of your thank you letter should be matching the same formatting as your resume. So whatever the top is for your resume, with your name, address, phone number, email address, right under that should be going straight into the thank you letter. Now with the thank you letter, you know, if you're sending it via email, then by all means, the subject line should be thank you, interview, comma, and the date that you had it, and then your first initial and then last name, or just your last name. But that's pretty much it. Probably I even had added a little bit too much, but you want to keep it short and sweet and to the point where you're thanking them for the interview and they know what it's about in the email. And then you just go straight into it. Always greet somebody by their last name, you know, until you get on that formal level. So dear Mr. or dear Miss or dear Mrs., you know, and then going straight into it. So what does a sample thank you letter sound like? I'm glad you asked. Hello, Pat. Thanks again for taking the time to meet with me yesterday afternoon. I enjoyed our conversation about the marketing manager position and appreciated learning more about working with the marketing team. It looks like a rewarding role, especially given the opportunities for collaboration and advancement. I think my master's in marketing and marketing experience would make me an excellent candidate for the role. I look forward to discussing this opportunity with you more. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you need any additional information about my references. And that's it, folks. That's honestly it. On here, because it wasn't in an email format, was thank you, the person's name, email address, and then their phone number. Folks, when you're sending out the letter, you will put sincerely, comma, 4 lines, go 4 lines down, and then have your name printed, and in between that 4 block space, that is typically where you are going to sign. And that's honestly it, folks. The thank you letter really isn't too stretched out. You know, it's not rocket science. It's just a matter of honestly getting that information down, and then I'm sending it out. Now, when you should send out the thank you letter, the same day, honestly, the same exact day, you should be getting that thank you letter out to the potential employer, HR manager, recruiter, what have you. So, and making yourself stand out. Let's see here. And then I wanted to talk about my king today. I've been talking about the ladies way too much. It's time to actually start talking about our king. So the king today is Ibram X. Kendi. He's a contributing author at The Atlantic and a professor and the director of the Anti-Racist Research and Policy Center at American University. He is the National Book Award winning author of Stamped from the Beginning, The Divine History of Racist Ideas in America and How to Be an Anti-Racist. So King Ibram, you know, we salute you. Definitely by all means check out the book, How to Be an Anti-Racist, and Stamped from the Beginning, The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America. So, and with that, I just want to leave you some inspiration for today. So, folks, waking up in the morning, I know it's difficult. I know it's tough. I know it is so hard to get up and stretch, and you're like, oh my gosh. The point is that you need to get up to be moving. You know, for myself, I always contradicted myself getting up thinking that, okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is do some exercise, or the first thing that I'm going to do is, you know, do some push-ups, do some pull-ups, you know, or the first thing I'm going to do is do some reading or meditating or grabbing some tea. No, folks, the basic is simple. The point of you waking up is just getting up. So for those that were listening earlier, do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. You know, if it needs to be a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, then do that as well, or 3, 2, 1 countdown. But the moment that you have your alarm set, the moment that you set your alarm and you have your eyes open. You should be doing slowly, and that should honestly be your meditation. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and getting right up, folks. Because the moment that you get up and you get your day started, the more greater you feel about yourself, and the more you will get accomplished. And it's true, it's just basic science. It's basic math, for those folks that don't need to get up till 8 o'clock, but they choose to get up at 6 a.m., it's 2 whole hours that they've just gotten back in the day, And the reality is that no matter what with your sleep pattern and, looking at it, nobody really needs the full 8 hours of sleep. It's just impossible. Unless you're a baby and everything like that, you get all the sleep that you want. But that's because the body's developing and all that other crazy science and neuro and all that jazz. But with getting the enough sleep, you're looking at a good 5 to 6 hours, and it's nothing wrong with getting those 5 to 6 hours. But what you need to focus on is that you're utilizing that time. And it's not just, I'm getting up, I'm getting a few things done, and then I'm going straight back to sleep. No, take advantage of every single second of the day, every single hour of the day, and plan out your day the night before, or even waking up at 6 a.m., getting in the shower, and then saying, all right, this is what I'm going to get accomplished today. This is what I'm going to achieve today. And, from there, you're good to go. So take care of yourself. Take advantage of the time that's been given to you. And as always, you know what I'm going to say, folks. Stay blessed, my fellow millionaires. Thanks again. Be sure to check out the links below for the interviews with myself and Bernadette, as well as myself and Celeste. And as always, stay blessed, my fellow millionaires. Have a great one.
Fleslet on the beat.